I'm Phil Johnson. I'm the Strength and Conditioning Coordinator at West Branch High School in West Branch, Iowa. The purpose of this video is to show some of the exercises, neck exercises that we're using to reduce the likelihood or severity of concussions, particularly in football, but I think it also applies, this type of training also applies to many other contact sports, collision sports, and even soccer, for heading the ball. But there are basically two categories of neck training that we do. One is dynamic, where we're taking the neck through a range of motion, where we're moving, and then there's the static neck training, where we're just holding a position. I think both are valuable to athletes. So Colton's going to be my model here. He's going to lay back on the bench. So this is one variation that we do. So he's going to lay supine on a bench with his head just hanging off the end, and you're fine. Yep, right here. Scoot toward me just a touch, so your shoulders are right at the edge of the bench. Come this way. Keep coming, keep coming. Right there. Okay? Now, basically Colton's responsibility while we're doing this is just to keep his core nice and tight and just constantly move through the range of motion nice and smooth. So the range of motion is basically full extension and then chin to chest. Okay? So I'm going to apply the resistance. It's going to be a manual resisted exercise. I'm going to take either a towel or a t-shirt, place it over his forehead. It's important that you instruct your athletes to have a good, solid, firm grip. It doesn't feel comfortable if you're the person receiving the resistance if they don't have a firm hold on your skull. So I'm going to place my thumbs across his forehead. I don't know if you can get close enough to kind of see how I'm gripping. And then my hands are down the side of his head. So this is just basically an old school four-way manual neck. So I'm just going to ask him to go chin to chest and up and resist me on the way down. So it's not a lot of resistance. And up, go, and resist. And break, okay? And obviously the better condition the neck muscles, the more resistance I can apply. So then I'm going to have him do a quarter turn. We're going to do the exact same thing to the right, and then do the exact same thing to the left, and then do the exact same thing in extension. So we do flexion, lateral flexion left, lateral flexion right, in extension, and we prioritize forward and left and right a little bit more than we do the extension, because the extensor muscles are usually a little bit stronger by nature. So one other slight variation of this is we'll just do a static hold. You can basically do the same thing on a bench, which just go ahead and just stay there, where I'm applying a force for 10 seconds or whatever second count you want to use. So I'll be the coach, athletes will be on benches, and I'll say 3, 2, 1, and push, and he just basically resists me, and he's just trying to hold his neck in that position while I apply a downward force. And then the same concept applies on the side, and then extension. Slight variation you can use, you can get down in a referee's type position like wrestling, so if you don't have enough benches for a group or a team, one person's on the floor, and you basically just simulate the exact same motions. And then there's one other static variation that we use for neck training. Colton, go ahead and just stand up if you would. Put your feet together, and then just try to make yourself nice and tall. Pretend you have a rod going down your spine. Try to maintain that position while you lean into my hands. Okay, so my hands are going to be on the side of your head, and your objective is just to stay tight. It's kind of one of those bridge or trust exercises that you'll do. So you're just going to lean toward me. And the nice thing about this is we're going to integrate those neck muscles with the core muscles. Keep leaning into me. Trust me. I got you. I got you. I got you. Keep leaning. Keep leaning. Don't let your hips break out. Stay tight. Stay tight. I got you. And then we go back up. And we'll just do that for reps. And then repeat on the other side or in all four directions. So those are some different variations you can use for strengthening your neck. And I don't know if there's conclusive evidence that shows that it will reduce the likelihood of concussions, but I think that's where strength and conditioning is going, is trying to do whatever we can do to help keep our athletes safer on the field.